My name is Dr. Catherine Bennett. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon at Memorial Hospital in Houston, and the single mother of the most incredible 10-year-old girl you could ever meet. Me daughter Lily was born with severe chronic lung disease, a condition that requires her to use a portable ventilator to breathe. That ventilator is not optional. It's her lifeline. We moved to Maple Ridge Estates a little over a month ago after I accepted a position leading the cardiothoracic surgery department at Memorial after my husband Eric died 3 years ago from a sudden aneurysm. Lily and I needed a fresh start. Eric had been my rock, my co-parent in managing Lily's complex medical needs, and my best friend since med school. Losing him left a void no career success could fill. But I was determined to create a stable, nurturing environment for our daughter. Maple Ridge seemed ideal. It was a beautiful upscale community with excellent security, wheelchair-accessible amenities, and close proximity to the hospital. The houses were designed with wide doorways and open layouts perfect for accommodating Lily's equipment. The neighborhood even had an accessible playground and proof features that have been major selling points for us. But what the real estate agent failed to mention was the iron grip of the HOA president, Patricia Caldwell, a former executive in the energy sector. Patricia had turned her early retirement into a dictatorship over the neighborhood, micromanaging every detail of the community with ruthless precision. She strutted around Maple Ridge like it was her own personal kingdom, clipboard in hand, accompanied by her meek husband, George, who seemed to exist solely to nod in agreement with her latest decree. Our troubles with Patricia began within 48 hours of moving, and I was still unpacking when the doorbell rang through the peephole. I saw Patricia standing stiffly, sunglasses perched atop her perfectly styled silver bob. When I opened the door, I was met with a tight smile. Dr. Bennett. I'm Patricia Caldwell, president of the Maple Ridge Homeowners Association. I couldn't help but notice the medical equipment visible through your front window. Section 87 of the HO guidelines requires that such equipment be screened from public view. It affects property values. You understand? I blinked at her. That's my daughter's ventilator. She has chronic lung disease. That equipment keeps her alive. Her smile didn't budge. I'm sure you can find an attractive curtain solution. We value aesthetics here. The violation fee is $150 per day, but since you're new, I'll waive it for today. I was stunned. I dealt with difficult patients, stubborn administrators, and arrogant colleagues, but this level of callousness was new. It was only the beginning. Over the following weeks, Patricia found endless reasons to harass us. The handicap ramp at the back door was unapproved construction, the marked parking spot I designated for her. Our medical transport van was unauthorized. Even the additional air conditioning unit we installed to regulate Lily's temperature was deemed an eyesore and required screening. Every time I cited the Americans with Disabilities Act or filed the appropriate paperwork, Patricia came back with some new regulation to enforce. It felt like death by 1,000 paper cuts, all while I was trying to navigate a demanding new position at the hospital and ensure Lily's health remained stable. The most absurd citation came when Patricia complained that the sound of Lily's ventilator violated noise ordinances. I had to ask an acoustical engineer from the hospital to measure the decibel levels, which were well below the HOA stated limits. The engineer, baffled by the request, did it as a favor after I'd assisted with his mother's surgery. She's targeting you. My neighbor Denise told me one evening over coffee while our kids played in the yard. Her son Tyler had become fast friends with Lily. Most of us have violations she could cite, but she zeroed in on you. Why? We're following the rules. We're polite because you challenge her idea of control. Denise said, your daughter's medical needs are a reminder that life isn't perfect, that it can't be controlled, and you're a successful single mom who doesn't bend easily. Despite Patricia's relentless campaign, Lily was thriving. She had an infectious laugh, excellent grades, and a superhero comic series she was working on called Ventilator Girl. But the harassment wasn't over. The worst came at the annual Maple Ridge summer pool party. Lily had been excited about it for weeks. She'd picked out a swimsuit that accommodated her ventilator harness and rehearsed how she would explain her equipment to other kids. We arrived early, setting up in a shaded area near the pool. The ventilator sat safely on the deck, waterproof and battery-backed. I reminded Lily about her safety steps. If you feel tired, let me know. If the alarm sounds, press the blue button. The day started well. Several kids came over to meet Lily, more interested in her drawings than her equipment. But then Patricia showed up, making her usual grand entrance, designer cover-up, flowing sunglasses, hiding her expression. She approached with that tight smile. Dr. Bennett, I don't recall approving medical devices at the pool. It's not pool equipment, Patricia. It's my daughter's ventilator. She needs it to breathe. It's disruptive, the humming noise of space it takes up other guests to complain. Perhaps your daughter would be more comfortable at home. The heat must be hard on her conditioned eye. Fought the rising anger in my throat. My daughter has every right to be here, and federal law agrees with me. We'll see, Patricia said, then walked away. Lily shrank into her seat, murmuring, maybe we should just go home. No, sweetheart, you belong here as much as anyone. Nathan Myers, a civil rights attorney who lived nearby, overheard the exchange. He quietly confirmed my assertion about the ADA and offered support about an hour later. I stepped away briefly to grab Lily's sunscreen from the car. When I returned, I heard the unmistakable alarm from her ventilator and the terrifying sound of Lily struggling to breathe. I sprinted across the pool deck, heart pounding. Lily was gasping, her ventilator flashing liquid detection warnings. Standing over her, an empty soda can in hand. Was Patricia? What happened? I shouted, rushing to switch Lily to her backup system. Oh, I accidentally spilled my drink, Patricia said, but there was no remorse in her eyes. Nathan was already at my side, phone in hand. That's not what happened, he said. I have it on video. She deliberately poured it over the ventilator. The footage showed Patricia tipping her soda onto the ventilator, her lips forming the words, let's see if you can stay now. The police were called. The officers didn't need much convincing. Tampering with life support equipment is a federal offense. Patricia was arrested on the spot 2 days later. As Lily recovered in the hospital, an FBI agent informed me that Patricia was being charged with federal hate crimes and attempted assault with a deadly weapon. Nathan helped us prepare a civil case, and the HOA board convened an emergency meeting where Patricia was immediately removed from her position. The community, shocked by what had happened, rallied around us. Neighbors who had once been silent now shared their own stories of Patricia's abuses. A meal train was organized. Tyler and the other neighborhood kids made Lily a giant welcome home banner. Even George Caldwell came to the hospital apologizing for his wife's actions and announcing their divorce. He promised to set up a trust fund for Lily's medical expenses, though I told him forgiveness would take more than money. Lily came home to a neighborhood transformed. The new HOA leadership revised the community guidelines to explicitly protect residents with medical needs. Accessibility ramps were installed at the clubhouse, and outlets were labeled for medical use. Patricia eventually took a plea deal, 10 years in federal prison. But the real victory was watching our neighbors change not just the rules, but their perspective. 6 months later, the next pool party was dedicated to celebrating all abilities. Lily was the guest of honor. She showed off her superhero sketches and explained her ventilator to curious kids with pride. That night, as I helped her with her evening treatments, she looked up at me and said, Mom, sometimes it takes something really bad for people to learn how to be better. She was right, and for all the pain Patricia caused, she couldn't break Lily's spirit or ours.